All right, folks, so we're gonna be doing a 2015 F150 3.5 twin turbo temp sensor. So customer complains of it having a high reading and the fans going off. Obviously the sensor, we're gonna scan it first. That's the main thing you want to do on a newer vehicle like this. So I'm gonna let you watch as I scan it here. I already have it plugged in. Scanner's reading. This is the Apollo D9. And here we go. We can go. I'm just gonna do just engine code. Pending. We'll clear it when we're done. So CHT, so sensor circuit high input. So meaning I'm pretty sure it's just the sensor. So now that we have the code, I'm not gonna erase it right now. I'm gonna just back out of everything and I'm gonna show you the procedure on doing the sensor itself. So just stay tuned. So now we can just back out of it. No, okay. And we're gonna leave it like this. We're gonna leave it on. I'm gonna turn it off for now and we'll rescan it when we're done. So now we can go ahead and do the sensor. Put everything back off. Okay, this is Blue. He's helping out, handing out tools. He hasn't learned how to use the scanner yet, but he will. Right, so first thing we're gonna do is take off the wheel, take off the inner fender, and go from there. I'm using a 22 just because these little metal covers that they have, they kind of get stuck. So 21 is to do it with torque, and then 22 just so you can get them off. That way they don't get jammed on that metal piece. So I think that should be good. It won't be in the way. And it's kind of hard to see, but the sensor's kind of in the back there. So I'm gonna get in there and try to look for it. So there's the sensor. I don't know if you can see it on the other camera. We're gonna fast forward. So that's the sensor right there that I'm pointing at with the other camera. At least that's what it looks like. And I'm using my phone as a mirror. So that's what it looks like. That's where it's at. So it's not that hard to get to. The other thing I noticed is that this wire is a little hard. So hopefully it's not the wire itself that's messed up. You know what? And we're gonna have to find another one because I don't think this is the sensor itself. So I think they messed up on the sensor because this is not the right one. Unless I'm pulling the wrong one, but no, this is not it. So yeah, that's it. They gave us the wrong sensor. Yeah, this is the wrong sensor. Great. So I'm gonna have to go find the right sensor. Doesn't look like that's the right sensor.
So they hired a few guys. All of them were.
All right, so
intern.
we went. We got this sensor from O'Reilly's, which it wasn't the right one, and besides not being the right one, So we went to Ford dealer and got the right one. This is the correct one. This is about 25 bucks compared to 10 bucks. And we went with the Ford because the resistance in it is a lot better than these particular. I've swapped out a couple of them, and the ones that I have swapped out, I've had to go and get the original ones because the built-in resistor that they put inside is not the same. So word of advice, just always go and get the original one. First of all, they'll get the right part. Second of all, it'll work just fine because it's the original equipment. So now we could go ahead and since we got the right sensor, go back and take out the sensor. I believe it's a 19 millimeter. We'll take it off and replace it and rescan it, erase it, and see how everything rolls. Right, so one thing I noticed, there's no, it doesn't seem like there's any doesn't seem like there's any water in there, so I don't think it might be, I don't think it goes into the water jacket, you know. I'm not sure on that, but there was no water and I don't feel that it's wet. I'm gonna check the level right now, but we got the right one. The one that we had gotten from O'Reilly's obviously is not the right one, so it might be from a newer one, and this one seems like it does go into the water jacket. But the point is, this is not even the right one for this vehicle, so we got the right one from Ford. 25 bucks. They had it right down the street. Picked it up. So now we're gonna before we put everything back together, we're gonna go and scan it and check everything, and then we can finish putting the inner fender and the tire on. So let's get up over there. Let's see what our scanner says. All right, so everything's plugged in. We're gonna go ahead and scan it. See. So ignition's on. All right, and it should be still on until we erase everything. So we're gonna do a scan. Usually I like to do a master scan, but right now I want to concentrate on this issue, which, let me see, so you can see that's the code. That's obviously the sensor that we swapped out. All right, now we're gonna go and we're gonna back out of this. We're gonna go down to clear code. Okay, it says it's cleared. So we're gonna back out completely. And now what I'm gonna do, okay, I was gonna do a master scan. Let's see if it's still pending. Okay, cool. So so there you go. I don't have to. It's because the other one I could do a master scan, but it'll scan all the components, all the computers in the vehicle. So now what we want to do is make sure that we just go. So right now I'm only in the engine control module, so I was able to erase it. So now I can back out of it. And the reason I'm going to back out of it, I'm going to give it a cycle, and we'll let it run. We'll put everything back together. We'll rescan it, make sure it's all good. So actually that works. We can see that it's giving us a good reading. So obviously we're going to keep an eye on that, make sure that that's reading right. We'll see where that needle ends up. Right now it's down to on cold, obviously, because the truck is cold. So we're gonna keep an eye on it and make sure that it goes up, or and to see if it moves, see if it gives us the right reading. And cool, so let's just keep an eye on that. right, so we're confirming the fix. It's scanned. We're gonna drive it for a little bit. We already let it warmed up. It's in the middle. The fans are not running, so the problem's fixed. We got blue here going for a ride. We're gonna test this. Scanner says it's all good. Temperature gauge reads good, and we're gonna give it a quick drive. Got my boy Blue for a ride. Making sure this is all fixed. So he was complaining that the fans would stay on, and the temperature gauge used to get pegged all the way to heat, and of course he stopped it, he checked it, he's like, oh, it's not hot. So it was just reading unaccurately. So obviously if his reading is not accurate, then the fans are not going to be accurate, because that's the signal for the fans and the relays. It turns on the fans, the first fan and the second fan, they tap off of that sensor. So that sensor needed to be swapped out. We confirmed it with the scanner, and obviously now we are finishing it up. We're going for the test drive, and it should all be good. Scanner says everything's good, and when I get back to his house, I will rescan it. Make sure we got a good cycle.
Not blowing like a mother, so nothing ought to come on.
Yep, nope, everything's good. That's what I'm checking right now, making sure that the fans right. We don't hear the fans kicking in. They're not even on. Not that hot. So it's reading accurately. So, very good. All right, guys. Well, thank you for watching. Always subscribe, like, and we'll tune you on to more problems and your solutions.